The story begins at 6 a.m. on a Tuesday. I'm sipping black coffee, keys in hand, ready to back my truck out for work when I open the garage door and freeze. My entire driveway is buried under a fresh pile of 3 tons of crushed limestone gravel, dumped silently at 2 a.m. while we slept. My truck is trapped. My wife's late for her ER shift. My 8-year-old son's missing the school bus. We're stuck in our own home. At the end of the cold, he built a solid client base, drove a 2014 F-250, and paid cash for a 3-bedroom colonial on Fenwick Court. His wife Dolores worked part-time dispatch for a plumbing company. Their daughter Tess was 16 with a 4.1 GPA and a soccer scholarship in sight. Normal family. Good neighbors who shoveled walks for the elderly couple next door without being asked. The neighborhood smelled pleasant in early autumn. Someone always had a fire pit going. Oak trees dropped that sharp, earthy scent of wet leaves. It was a junta in khaki pants. Garrett's issues started petty. In June, a violation for his basketball hoop being 6 inches too close to the property line. He moved it. July, trash cans visible more than 2 hours after pickup. He rolled them in faster. August, his mailbox post was antique ivory instead of colonial white. Ran out of sent a letter in 3 fonts, as if she'd gotten angry mid-type. Garrett laughed and showed Dolores. She didn't laugh as hard. Ran out of wasn't just annoying. She was strategic. Every notice was dated, photographed, filed, building a paper trail. Garrett, a handshake guy who fixed things with his hands, hadn't started building one. The first real unfairness came in September. Garrett applied for a permit to add a small detached workshop in his backyard. Fully zoned, pre-approved by the county, clean under HOA bylaws. Architectural mods needed board approval. He submitted. Ran out of denied it in 4 days for aesthetic inconsistency with neighborhood character, not a real bylaw provision. No hearing, no appeal, just red ink signature like a failing grade. The workshop was meant for physical therapy, to stay active and sane after his injury. Denial felt like a door slammed. He called the county, a lawyer friend, started reading bylaws. Garrett stopped being passive. Her response, 5 days later, a new violation. His F-250 was a commercial vehicle under a buried clause, fine $150 per day. She checked his business registration, decided it qualified without due process. Garrett called his lawyer friend Terrence, who knew HOA law cold. The clause was likely unenforceable, subjective, no clear definition. Fines without proper notice and hearing weren't collectible under Ohio Planned Community Act. Garrett sent certified letter invoking hearing rights per Ohio Revised Code, warning of damages under Consumer Sales Practices Act if lien placed without process, treble damages, attorney's fees. Ranata didn't respond directly. Instead sent Clive to say the board had community's best interests, suggest Garrett reconsider adversarial approach. Garrett said he'd reconsider when they reconsider bylaws. Fine notice vanished, never assessed. Truck stayed. Round 1 to Garrett. But Ranata escalated. Board proposed amendment for President Emergency Authority to deny mods without procedure for 60 days if urgent aesthetic risk. Passed 2-1. Orrin, quiet retired teacher, voted no, looked nauseated. Garrett read minutes on HOA's site, jaw tight, added to folder. November brought an orange placard on his door. Intent to lien for $1,350 in dues/fees. But Garrett was current. Bank records proved auto payments 3 years straight. Figure was contested commercial fines, never heard. Seeing that fluorescent orange on white paint, daughter asking dad, "What's that?" Hit deep, cold anger. Dolores said, "Call Terrence tonight." Terrence called it textbook wrongful lien. If third-party management, Crestline, hired without vote, involved potentially FDCPA violation, $1,000 statutory per incident plus fees. Terrence sent cease and desist, filed AG consumer complaint, threatened declaratory judgment to void lien plus fees. Lien withdrawn in a week, issued in error. Ranata, privately livid, called Garrett bully with lawyer, said she'd make family uncomfortable. Orrin later shared over coffee. She'd done it before, drove Dunbars out. December. HOA notice to all households a proposed $800 special assessment for repaving entry road and remediating improper driveway modifications by unnamed residents. Implication clear, Garrett costing everyone. He got looks, wave stopped. Isolation tactic. Garrett stayed calm, drafted factual letter to residents with attachments explaining paper trail. No names, just documents. Hand-delivered house to house on misty Saturday, cold air, with smoke. Most read on spot. Many said, I wonder what was going on. Assessment vote failed in January, 7 no votes. Ran out of miscalculated community. But escalation ratcheted. Ran out of failed 3 times. In construction, most dangerous when unreasonable person loses enough to stop caring about consequences. January-February quiet, pressure building. Garrett connected with others find. Firefighter Denton, flagpole. Palumbo's, vegetable garden cease and desist. Marla, denied fence 11 months. Collected their trails. Requested financial records under Ohio law. 3-year statements, minutes, contracts, reserves. Board stonewalled past 30 days. Garrett filed court order to compel. They produced disorganized stack. What he found mattered later. March. Sunday evening, Tess texted, people in driveway. 9:47 p.m. Bobcat and dump truck dumped 3 tons crushed limestone across driveway width. Piled 2 feet high, 15 foot back. Smell, limestone dust, diesel, mineral sharp. Truck pulled away, Bobcat operator avoided eyes. Notice taped to mailbox. HOA exercising emergency authority to remediate unlicensed driveway modification. Non-conforming surface hazard. Gravel barrier pending review. Blockade. Garrett stood in cold. Filmed 2-minute video perimeter. Time-stamped. Security cam had HD of truck, Bobcat, plates, operator face. Called Terrence. Voicemail but text. Don't touch gravel. Need it as is. Cross-reference plates. Vendor contracts. Hartwell Property Services. Paid $4,200 HOA funds 2 months prior for a landscaping consultation. Same company blocked driveway. Misappropriation of funds for tortious interference with property access, possibly criminal. Next morning, police non-emergency report, civil, but incident number. Paper trail. Called Orrin. Anything unseen. Orrin quiet. Then, she refinanced reserve fund. Reserves for major repairs, not operating. No member vote for $22,000 transfer over 14 months. Paid Crestline, Hartwell, news sign, catered dinner. Breach of fiduciary duty, possible criminal misappropriation. Garrett called Terrence. Then local news consumer reporter Bev Santoro. Voicemail with records showing misappropriation to harass. Driveway gravel proof. She called back 40 minutes. Gravel stayed. Deliberate evidence. Daily 30 seconds updates to new neighborhood Facebook group. Sycamore Ridge residents info only. Grew to 94,112 households fast. People angry, watching details. Terrence built strategy. Civil suit for obstruction. Documented work loss per day. Complaint to Commerce Department on Crestline license. Demand letter to all households for special meeting to remove board. 20% petition easy with allies. Media. Garrett's trap. Certified letter. Since HOA claims remediation, responsible for disposal per EPA guidelines. Kuota $1,800 remofal. 48 hours. Remove at expense or acknowledge illegal. He'd bill plus damages. If remove, concede mess. If not, evidence sits for meeting on camera. Coached witnesses. Facts, dates, documents, calm. Night before, binder review, coffee smell, clock tick, gravel crunch outside. Tess noted he was kind of enjoying it. He didn't deny. Ran out of panicked pre-meeting. Scarecrow attorney letter. Harassment via group. Terrence rebutted First Amendment, ghosted. Told neighbors Garrett planning commercial business. Fabricated. Neighbor Phyllis tipped off. Filed county complaint on basketball hoop as unlicensed training facility. Targeting Tess's scholarship chances. Inquiry letter arrived. Tess read first. Asked if she'd lose chances. Garrett's anger hot now. Dismissed quick with proof. Shared redacted in group. 23 comments fast. Neutrals angry. Invalid emergency board session amended recall to 60% supermajority. No. Bylaws need full vote. Invalid record. Special meeting. Cold late March. Clubhouse full. 64 seated, 15 standing. Bev arrived with camera. Orrin called order, recognized Garrett. He spoke 11-minute flat. Dates, dollars, statutes, photo of gravel. Silent room. Neighbors spoke. Ditton flagpole. Marla fence hypocrisy. Palumbo's garden. Others. Wanda resigned on spot. Asked Renata same. Terrence demanded. Remove gravel HOA, expense 48 hours. Halt violations/assessments. Independent audit 3 years. New elections 60 days. Or lawsuit tomorrow. Vote. Orrin yes. Wanda abstain/nod. Clive yes after long pause. Renata no. Carried 2-1. Renata gathered papers. Walked out silent. Next morning, 8 a.m. Hartwell arrived. Removed every stone by 10:15. Garrett filmed clean driveway. Posted done. 204 reactions. Bev's segment aired Friday, 6. 5-minute calm, devastating. Figures, footage, interviews. Ran out of decline comment. AG upgraded Crestline complaint to investigation. They terminated contract, license reviewed. Audit found $27,400 unauthorized reserves. New board demanded restitution from Ranata. Settled $19,000 repayment. Permanent resignation from HOA. Clive resigned pre-election. Wanda cooperated, not named. Garrett's suit settled out court. $8,400 work loss. 22 days. $3,200 fees. Used part to build workshop. Permit quick under new board. Built over weekends. Denton helped framing. Smelled sawdust. Treated lumber. Satisfaction. Coffee maker on wall first. Tess got partial D2 soccer scholarship. Coach from that practice day. New board redirected $6,000 reserves properly to improvement fund. Senior scholarship for trade/tech. Marla proposed. Unanimous. First block party in 4+ years. July. Charcoal. Grass. Sunscreen smells. Best on Fenwick Court long time. Garrett stood in clean driveway. Watched neighbors talk. Thought this what neighborhood supposed to be. Ran out of move to condo, 12 miles away. Unknown if she joined their board. What keeps coming back? Hartwell truck at 8 a.m. Their truck, same company ran out of paid with neighborhood money for months, loading 3 tons back on her dime. She had title, management on speed dial, every structural advantage. Still lost. Not luck, connections, money. She used rule book against him. He learned to hold it same way. Took her apart. She handed weapon. He just learned grip. If tomorrow your driveway blocked by people meant to protect neighborhood, what's first thing you do? Most explode or go quiet? She counted on both. Draw answer in comments. If familiar, share. Someone in feed, writing own version now. Maybe not gravel, but something. Gravel's gone. Check clear. Garrett's workshop finally built.